Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV out of our studios here in Munich. And we want to get an update from David Suda, the CEO of American Future Fuel. Good morning, David. How are you?
Good morning, Jochen.
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for taking the time. And we are on a road trip here through Europe, which is fantastic. But of course, we want to use the opportunity here at Commodity TV to get an update from you. So, American Future Fuel, please remind us shortly, what is the company doing?
So American Future Fuel is very, very well positioned with a property with a historical resource of 18.9 million pounds of uranium in New Mexico in the United States.
Yeah, super. I think you are then in the heart of the storm, I would call it, because uranium is hot, uranium is running. We are at $106 this morning again per pound, which is great, but also the US, they need to do something, right? And so I think there's a lot of things are going on in the US to really help you guys.
The US is a great place to be if you are a uranium investor. Our property is in the Grants Mineral Belt of New Mexico, which was a huge past producer in the US. And really, since the times of production decades ago, there's been very little happening by way of production of uranium in the US. Of course, a large percentage of the energy production for electricity comes from nuclear. And all of that nuclear fuel, the uranium, has been coming actually from overseas, and a large part of that from Russia. And Congress just voted to pass a bill to ban the import of Russian-based uranium, and soon the Senate will vote as well. So, needless to say, America has a lot to do right now in order to access the uranium that is actually there. So, having a property with the kind of historical resource that we have is strategically, I think, a very good play.
Absolutely. Yeah. So on your presentation, you have like 3,500 historical drill holes with 300,000 meters. That's worth approximately 75 million US dollars. I think this is a huge advantage because you know already the uranium is there. So now you are proving that this is all real for a new 43-101. How was the first phase of drilling? Did that?
Yeah, we did complete a first phase of drilling, which is designed basically to prove an existing historical resource, which was put out in a 2014 43-101 report. Investors can check that on our website. It's a clickable link in our presentation. So impressive numbers, but we have to go and confirm those now. So with a third party who will ultimately grant us a new 43-101. We have a couple of phases of drilling. The first phase is complete, and it was a really big success. The holes that we twinned came up very accurate to the historical data. So that obviously bodes well for us. You know, we're very confident that as we continue to drill, we'll able to be, very efficient with our capital and also with time to leverage, as you said, all of that historical data and all of that value.
Super. So now phase 2 is then starting when?
We'll be commencing phase 2 at the end of Q1, probably, maybe into Q2, but certainly again, it's only planned to be approximately 25 holes again, so it doesn't take a lot of time. This is relatively shallow drilling for those investors who are used to, say, some of the deeper drilling for the other metals. This is unlike that at our property. It's all relatively close to surface, which is very important. It also makes things much cheaper.
So that means that you drill holes like 100, 150 meters maybe?
That's
like
right.
That?
That's right.
Yeah, well, that's really easy to do. It could be done fast, right? So
yes.
that's one hole 2 days, but how long does it take?
Yes, that's right. Kind of a hole a day. Sometimes you can do a little better than that. The phase 1 drilling was quite efficient again, and in the uranium space, there hasn't been a lot of activity. So the drillers in New Mexico hadn't been overly active over the last few decades. So I think we're only just going to get more efficient and make sure that everything happens seamlessly as we go.
Assuming that things go well, when you do the phase 2, phase 3 drilling, I saw in your presentation also that you maybe can enlarge the resource then.
Yes, and in the presentation, you noticed that phase 3 is potentially even unnecessary for the confirmation drilling. But in phase 3, we do have provisions also for working with some data, which we're in the process, which we've acquired and continue to acquire on the southern portion of our property, St. Anthony's, where there was past production actually in an open pit. And that data will give us the opportunity to add, we put in our presentation, we're targeting a 25 million pound resource ultimately. So what's in that data from St. Anthony, if it looks anything like the data from the previous 43-101, that makes up the 18.9 million pounds. So then, we're confident that we will be adding pounds from that data, and then we'll go through the same process of confirming that to get, to roll those pounds into our 43-101.
Okay, super. How much will the phase 2 cost? Approximately.
Less than $2,000. $2 million.
2,000 would be great. I would love that.
Less than $2 million Canadian.
Okay, super. Because you did also financing, and I think you got institutions in, right?
Yes.
So that's a big sign of confidence and trust.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this project is definitely, at the right stage to start to bring in institutional investors. We have a really strong retail shareholder base, but we took the opportunity to raise $3.5 million, 3.45, and that was largely comprised of 2 institutions, uranium-focused institutions, and we hope to add to that roster as we grow.
No, quite for sure, I would say, because the uranium market is on fire. Huh? Yeah, it really looks like. Okay, so now you are a company with a single asset, I would call it. What would be, let's say, in the future view of you? How do you see the company, let's say, 3-4 years from here?
Well, we have an asset that is desirable in the space. There were definitely first movers. American Future Fuel was very fortunate to acquire this asset a couple of years ago, but there is definitely a crowd that was able to amalgamate a variety of very good assets even before that. Now, as I think we come into a market where people are going to be chasing pretty hard, we feel very fortunate to have a very high quality asset. So we're going to absolutely work to leverage the quality of that asset to, sort of spread our wings and broaden our horizons. So that means, we'll be looking for potentially to be involved with near-term production. We'll be looking potentially to be outside of New Mexico. So that could be, the states for your investors. They should know Colorado, Texas, Wyoming, Utah. Those are the other states that surround us that have been, historically producers where there is actually production starting again, which is very exciting for some of our peers who are doing a fantastic job garnering attention and showing that, yes, once again, America can be a producer of uranium.
Absolutely. They have to, because 93 nuclear power plants are in service, so they need to be fueled, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And you want to source the fuel from your home country, I would
Absolutely.
call it.
That's right.
One thing is also, I think, mentionable, because it's very important. You are in New Mexico, so you are in the US, that's fine. You are on a super belt, a lot of uranium in the whole endowment, but you are on private land. Yeah. What is the big advantage to be on private land?
I'm glad you've strategically left this point so that it, is one of the last things that the audience remembers. This is a very key factor in the story. Being on private land, protects American Future Fuel from some of the challenges that go with permitting. Anywhere really in the world. We definitely are positioned in a way where our permitting process is really streamlined to the extent that we're dealing with the state of New Mexico at this time. The likelihood of the federal government, say, coming in and trying to limit us is mitigated drastically. if not eliminated, by being on private land.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a huge advantage, and it makes us stand out from some of our peers.
Mm-hmm.
And again, going back to your previous question, where do you see the company? I think you can grow a company like this with an asset like we have. And to a large extent, one of the big reasons is that we are on private land.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So it makes you really attractive. And you have already 19 million pounds of uranium, because I'm pretty sure you will prove that.
Yeah, we're
That's
not going.
feeling.
We're not running around asking people to give us money to look for it.
Exactly. Because it's there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's for sure. Super. So you have enough money in the bank. The drills will turn.
That's
so when
right.
we will see the next news?
There's going to be news flowing throughout. We've got we're growing this company, so we're going to be adding bench strength, in places like our board, and to our team. So we've got that kind of, we're going to have corporate news. We're going to obviously have news about our drilling, and then we're also going to have news about St. Anthony and what that data that we haven't been able to work through yet actually will add to our resource.
Super, fantastic. Sounds like a game plan. I know why I'm a shareholder. All the best, David, and I have a good feeling that we talk quite soon.
Thank you very much, Joachim.
Thank you. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was David Suda, the CEO of American Future Fuel. I'm a shareholder in the company. I want to disclose that also. And knowing David for a long, long time, I think, first of all, management is great. Don't forget, Michael Henriksen is also in the team, a fantastic geologist. And the property is great. They have already 19 million pounds. By now, historic resource, but it will be soon a 43 43 101 compliant resource. I have a very good feeling on that, and the drills start to turn very soon here, and we expect a lot of news. And don't forget, the big advantage is also they have raised the money, they got institutions in, they are on private land, and it's uranium, guys, and uranium will move much, much further. So check out the company, make sure you get some shares. Thanks for watching us, and bye-bye from Munich today.